Hi guys, James here, Gaming Central PH, and today we will be unboxing and reviewing the newest Joy-Con of NYXI, which is the NYXI Hyperion Pro. The box itself is pretty small compared to other Joy-Con that has the same size. So we have here the charger, we have the manual, and we have the bridge. Of course, you can use this controller as a Pro controller if you want to, but it's really best to use this as a Joy-Con. It also has a programmable back button. The triggers that they're using here is pretty standard. To be honest, I like the one that they've used with the NYXI Wizard, wherein the trigger buttons are mechanical keys. The main selling point of this Joy-Con would probably be the Hall Effect sensor joysticks. We are all afraid of ghost movement. So if you're gonna be using this Joy-Con, you will never experience stick drift ever again. It's also light, and I actually like the feel of this controller. I like the grips when you're holding it. Controller like these are actually best used when they are directly connected to your Nintendo Switch. I'm gonna be showing you how responsive the buttons are. Though I just want to let you know that the D-pad is actually hard to press. So if I'm gonna be playing some fighting games, I'm not gonna be using this controller. You also can't update the software since this is not a licensed Joy-Con. Sticks are also very responsive, though I really don't like the analog shape that they chose for this controller. It's somehow similar with a Steam Deck. And if that's the case, I really need to use a thumb grips or let's say an analog caps. Hyperion Pro also has a turbo function, so you can definitely maximize it just in case that you wanna cheat on some games. As I mentioned earlier, the Hyperion Pro has two programmable back buttons, and they're actually not bad. You also have an option if you want to customize the strength of your vibration or your rumble feature. And of course, you can definitely customize the RGB or the LED lights that you can see on your controller. You can select the color that you want. You also have an option if you want to have it automatically change its color, like it's pulsating or like breathing. I would also like to highlight the face buttons that they have. It's on crystallized buttons, so the keys will never fade. The Switch can also stand on its own if you have this controller connected directly to it. So that's one nice feature that they have for the Hyperion Pro. Come on guys, really have to admit, this controller really looks great. I'm gonna play a game now while I discuss the things that I like and I don't like about the NYXI Hyperion Pro. Let me start first with the things that I do like about this controller. Number one would be the Hall Effect Joystick. So I love the fact that I have a peace of mind that I will never have ghost movement using this controller. I also like the feel whenever I'm using this controller. It's so ergonomic and I don't think that I'll go back with using a Nintendo Switch Joy-Con anytime soon. Let me go now to the things that I don't like about this controller. I'll be honest with you guys. The NYXI Hyperion Pro is very similar to other third-party controllers like the one in Omelette and the one in Aini. It seems like they have the same feature, same material being used. It's really identical. And with that being said, they have the same problem, which is the D-pad. So the D-pad is kind of hard to press. So if you're gonna be playing some games that really require the D-pad, I suggest not getting this controller. I would also like to point out that some other brand have disconnect issues. So whenever your Joy-Con or your controller is connected directly to your Nintendo Switch, there are certain moments that you will be disconnected to your game, like the controller will sleep by its own. So it's really annoying. But with the Hyperion Pro by NYXI, I never encountered it. So I've used this controller with my Nintendo Switch V1, V2, and OLED. They're all the same. I never experienced any disconnect issue. So the question remains, is the NYXI Hyperion Pro worth it? For me, it is, especially if you're gonna be considering the Hall Effect joystick that they now have. It's really a big upgrade from the Hyperion brand. And if you're gonna be comparing the NYXI Hyperion Pro to other third-party controllers, I can say that this is definitely the final form for this type of controller. Though I would also like to point out that if ever that they can bring some of the features of the NYXI Wizard to the Hyperion Pro series, I think that would be a much better fit for most gamers if they can give it the mechanical keys that they have for the NYXI Wizard. That would be a lot better. So if this is your first time buying a controller like this, I highly suggest get the NYXI one compared to the other brands. And just in case that you have tried using other brands and let's say you don't want to go through the disconnect issue that other gamers are experiencing, I highly suggest get the NYXI Hyperion Pro instead. This is James again from Gaming Central PH. Stay safe and happy